Hello. I think I got this right. There we go. Trying to moving things around here a little bit. Hi. Welcome everybody. I'm solo again today. My beautiful co-host is still away in another time zone, so it'll be a couple more weeks. Just let everybody come in. Before I get started, hi. Nice to see everyone. Ooh. I'm just gonna open up the energy while we're here, because there's a lot of energy today. I've decided to do, I'm going to do a little bit of a series of inside the series. So we're doing Soul Alchemy, Know Thyself. And so this is technically part 10, 11, I think today. But this is the second part on being human, because I'm going to start talking about that more. But let's go into the energy here. And I just want to open up this space. So for everybody here, you can close your eyes, take some nice deep breaths. And allow to receive. Great. Well, I certainly felt that energy, nice and grounding, opening, aligning. It's interesting. I was just outside and I noticed that the birds, there's a lot of birds around and they're doing strange movement. And I don't know if you guys have noticed or read about the inner core of the earth switching, because the poles are shifting. And so I think that has something to do with the electromagnetics that I'm watching the birds. So that was pretty interesting. There's definitely a tremendous amount of energy coming in. And I personally feel a lot of energy and a lot of, I feel like it's important to connect into the earth. So feel your feet on the ground and really touch the earth and get in the sun as well. So you've got that connection of like the father and mother really allowing you to have that full range of connectedness. That feels important. So what wants to come through today, we talked about last time, for those, it was the week before last, about being human, just starting to talk about, that we are the characters in this thing called our life. And like, what are we really doing? Are we showing up authentically as ourselves, or are we playing a role in some way? Are we showing up as a character? And I had an opportunity to really experience that with somebody who I had talked about last time, that wasn't able to be in her persona per se, of how she showed up in the world. But yet, because she wasn't connected to that and the awareness, feeling shame or embarrassment or anything like that, she was really sweet and nice. And it was just this beautiful experience. I'm not saying that, because we put on makeup, I wear a little makeup, or we like to dress well, that that isn't being authentic. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we play games, and we play games for many different reasons. And it's a lot of it's not conscious, it's a lot of unconscious dialoguing to ourselves. And I think that's really where the topic wants to come in today. And this is I guess we could consider this a controversial topic, but it's what's coming through in the energy. And it's really about suicide. And what I want to share with that is that I want to talk about the energy of that, because I feel like that, many of us in this lifetime and many other lifetimes have experienced that, either literally have done it ourselves or experienced somebody that has. And I just had a full recognition that that particular energy, and it's still playing out, of course, a lot now, there's unfortunately a lot of that happening, but it's funny because in this lifetime, I'd always say to myself that that would be kind of the most ridiculous thing to do, because you're actually going to go one day anyway, so why not stick it out? But if you can imagine that, having gone to the point that you actually did that, and then you came into this lifetime, then what you would have is like this idea that I didn't make it, and so you're coming into this lifetime, and you don't have you're not connected to anything. And I think that this is a big piece of what's going on with a lot of people in humanity, is that, we do have that feeling that I'm not from here. And, because we are multidimensional beings and we're galactic, and and we're not taught, all of our multidimensional lineage. So that's confusing within itself. But then if we add this element of suicide that's still taking place, and what the energy that's representing, what shows up in that is this coming into this lifetime right where you left off, which is like, imagine if you actually did go to that point that you didn't make it and you took yourself out, what would you then have when you come back into this reality, if you're carrying that energetic? So this, I think, is a lot of that underlying that we're carrying, is that place of, what's the purpose? What am I doing here? And then you're still carrying all those energetics of whatever took place in that, the shame, the embarrassment, the blame, the angers, the frustrations, all these different types of things. And so there's so much in this, but I'd say that the first thing in this that's coming forward is the divine forgiveness. So if we're able to have that divine forgiveness, and divine forgiveness is forgive me, forgive you, love me, love you, compassion for me, compassion for you, gratitude for me, gratitude for you. And it's me to me, it's not even necessarily outward. And but it's receiving that forgiveness deep inside self for not making it, so to speak. And if we can feel that, what does that really feel like? That means that I finally surrender and let go and become present. I actually allow myself and give myself permission to have an authentic experience, because I haven't done that, and I feel like that I feel most of humanity is not doing this. And some of the ways that this energy also can be playing out is like, is in the abandoning of self, like how we abandon ourself, how we distance, the distancing of oneself from others, the feeling less than and afraid, the way that we're showing up in the world, and we're pulling back and we're pulling away and we're hiding within ourselves, which is why we got to show up in this certain persona, right? And so believe it or not, it's connected to that energy of like suicide. It's like having not made it and not known and not understand that in a deeper way. So we're still playing out the energetics of all of that. Another way that we're doing that is, when one shuts off to another person, gets hurt or judges, and shuts off without any conversation. I mean, it's a similar energy. It's like we pop out of the physical reality, and you're in energy. The thing is that the illusion is that something changes, and it doesn't. If you're one way in the physical body, and just because you're outside the physical body doesn't mean that the energetic changed. It didn't. It's the same. And so because we don't know what to do with that, because the energy is the same, that when we have conflict, sometimes with individuals, we just shut off and we go into all the judgment, and we go in judgment within ourselves, and we don't ever communicate. So that other individual is now still in the hurt and all the stuff that's still playing out, and we're over here in that playing out. So, I mean, and there's so much more that I could go into this and bring it in. But I think that, the sort of what wants to come through is is, I've talked about this a lot too, about the divine 0 point. It's about allowing yourself to actually be in the present moment and have authentic experiences. And notice the idea that we're all one is have that compassion and that love and that support for the other, even if you're not, you're no longer in resonance with that. Because we have relationships. Everything is things occur, and sometimes something that was in resonance with you is no longer in resonance with you. But do I have to shut it off in that way? Do I have to react to it? Do I have to be upset with it and so on? No. If it's, authentically as source consciousness, if we're coming from the heart space and we've got that compassion, then, we can have conversation and just allow for the transition of something, because change is a part of this whole journey, and life experiences is life experiences, so it feels like that if we can start to really just kind of take in this concept and start to imagine how this is playing out in my day-to-day, what am I doing that's in relationship to this energy that I'm referring to as suicide, which is really, it's the energy that has me not feel complete and aligned in any way, so that I can't release things. I'm holding on to them all the time. I don't know how to keep my heart open and just be authentic, communicate with somebody else. It's all those types of things, and the way out of that is that divine forgiveness to self, to say it's okay. I don't have to have that authentic solution right here, because it doesn't exist that way. It exists when I allow myself to be present and have the experience. And through the experience comes the solution of whatever it is. So this feels like a bit of what I want to kind of bring forward. Any questions that are coming up? I'm going to look at here. People have any questions in relationship to this, and you can ask any questions that you want. I do have, I think, a little bit more that I'm going to bring forward. Supposedly they can detect high vibrational portals. Okay, you're talking about the birds, Deborah. Yeah, they're circling because it brings high frequency to their souls. Animals are connected. Absolutely. I love the animals and I love the birds. I've got some birds out here. This was very unusual with the birds earlier. There were so many. I think they're robins, and they're not normally seeing that many. And the way that then they came around me, of course. So I thought, well, maybe there's something in the energetics in which they came around my head. Yeah, birds are amazing animals. All animals, though, actually. If we begin to communicate and watch nature, of course, being in nature allows us to be so much more free if we allow ourselves to do that. But this idea of being human, the origination of this false matrix, and I'm assuming that everybody here that's listening knows a little bit about the false matrix, and if not, I'll just give a little bit of what that is. It's the inversion of everything that is authentic to us, and the origination of this whole game of this false matrix originated from the idea of experiencing power, which I refer to as the false definition of power, and that is the definition we have on the planet now, which is power over or being powered by something. The authentic definition of power would be that there's nothing greater than that I am. But this whole matrix began, kind of under that idea of experiencing to see if there's something greater than that I am. And as the beings and all of us, we really all have participated in this kind of travel down that road. That's when all of these other energies and frequencies began to come in with it, because of the power and the power struggles. Then we're in that confusion all the time. We can't seem to find the balance. We can't seem to find, our truth. So the way out of it is to drop into that neutrality and have an authentic experience. Christina, any advice on differentiating energy coming from others when getting in contact? In my case, I rapidly feel people energy and working how to alchemize it. Thanks. Yeah. Well, being able to tell the difference between is it me or them. Well, first of all, if you're experiencing it and you're feeling it and it's becoming difficult, then I'd say that you own parts of that. And so, I always describe it like if say, you and I come around each other and we're talking about the energy of fear, and if, we're looking at this as kind of a linear measurement. And so say I had an inch of fear in me and I come around you and you have 2 inches of fear in you, then now I have 3 inches of fear in me. But if I don't have any fear within me and I come around you, I'm going to feel it, but it's not going to have anything to attach to. And as we can show up in the heart space, in the present moment without judgment, the thing is, when we show up as that, okay, we are source consciousness. So, and we are source consciousness. That's what we are. And all we're doing in human existence is matching frequencies in order to be comfortable. This is what's happening here. And so when you're talking about other people's energies and frequencies, if I show up as in the 0 point, I'm showing up as myself, as source consciousness. No other frequency can sustain itself in source except source. So what'll happen is that, yes, we have all these other energies, that are around us, whether they're, any of the emotional frequencies, shame, blame, anger, fear, whatever, all of those types of things, but they won't be, we won't embody them, because we are, they'll be alchemized, because the matching of frequencies is that the higher frequencies always try to raise lower ones up and just match it. And so it's not just this arbitrary thing of saying, if I'm going to actually show up, I'm actually going to be present. And this is the key, because we can have our feet on the floor, we can look at our eyes, we can be, in a room with somebody, but yet we're in our head and start to notice that the dialoguing in the head too, that we have so much different dialoguing. And this is the thing that I said in the beginning of this whole series, is that the unspoken is speaking so much louder than the spoken. And so we have this idea that I'm thinking and it's private and so on. That's not true. Everything's energy and frequency. So I'm radiating this out, I'm vibrating this out. So if you're able to be truly present with your heart open in this space of just witnessing observer, it's a very different experience of what takes place. Sometimes, you'll realize that individuals and people around you, that they're not resonating with you. And what will happen though, they'll naturally move away. And if you're just beginning to practice this, and you've been, in the company of somebody that you felt like tension with, and you do drop into that 0 point and you open your heart space, don't be surprised if that tension tries to elevate with that person. And it's happening because if you were in the situation prior and you felt that energy and you're feeling it, then you're matching it. And so that's the comfort for that other person. But when you drop into that neutrality, you're now disengaging from that. As soon as that happens, that other person's going to start to get uncomfortable, and they're going to naturally try to bring you back to the same energy that you were just in. So the sort of goal in that is to continue to stay in that neutrality. And sometimes we can feel that, right? Where you can be neutral, and then they're pushing and they're pushing and they're pushing and they're pushing, and suddenly you can't do it anymore. And you're like, because you lowered your frequency. And so it's a practice. This is a practice that we're doing, as this is part of the being human that we're doing. Okay, I hope that was helpful, Christina. Diana, recently I noticed that when I'm in a great state of vibration, all of a sudden someone might stand next to me and sit next to me on a train or a bus, and I feel this heaviness or bad vibes by then. How to handle that? Yeah. Well, that's again, what do we do, right? So that's how we're kind of programmed, right? Oh my God, I got this heavy energy. And so we want to pull away from it. So first of all, in that situation, you go in your head, so you're noticing it from your head space. So you're not in your heart space. You're not in that energetic, you felt it too. So obviously there's something in your own energetic, and it becomes that what you literally did is you moved from yourself, knowing yourself as source, the witnessing observer, because you were in that high vibrant energy, to suddenly you became the embodiment of this person, and you became a person, little me, and I'm sitting right here with this person, and now I'm feeling their energy. So of course, the easiest thing to do is to drop into that witnessing observer with compassion of your own self, be like, well, that's interesting. I'm suddenly feeling this energy. Is this interesting? Be curious about that and be like, take some breaths. At that point, it begins to leave you, and now you start to notice it. And at that point, you may actually notice the reality of what that person's feeling. Maybe they're suffering, there are things that are going on. And when we have that compassion and we're allowing for our heart to be open and compassionate to that individual, you may be surprised. They may start to talk to you, and something might occur, which is a very different experience than what we typically have. Is like, oh my God, it's a bad vibe, I got to get away from that. Because what's happening in that situation is we're literally shrinking our light. We're making ourselves smaller instead of expanding our source light, because that's again how we're trained to do. We're trained to pull away. And I've used this example, and this is coming forward that I want to share, is like, because we are source consciousness having an experience through this vessel, this body, and we're energy and frequency. So we're a library of information, our soul, if you will, and it engages in this physical body. That, the physical body is like the container for us to be in. And so if you imagine that this container were a room, and you had, in the corner of the room, you have a candle lit. So that would mean I have like 25% of the room is light. That means 75% of the room is dark. And so the difference between light and dark is information, and that information is you. So if that were your body, that would mean I have 25% of me in my body. That means 75% is something else. What is that something else? It's the collective beliefs. It's my parents. It's my whatever, But in order for me to shift that light, if it were in the room, all I have to do is take that candlelight and expand it across the entire room, and all the darkness goes away. It's the exact same thing within here, and that's why if say we have fear, instead of pulling away with fear, which it only creates more of it, we go into it. We breathe and we let go and we allow. Because if you're allowing yourself to be in that present moment, and there is no fear, there's none of those anxiety, none of the energies that you would feel that are considered bad. If I'm allowing myself to breathe and truly be present, expand my energy out, it's a natural, it's how it works. So hopefully, Diana, that answered your question. Just felt that today, tension. I just said, stop talking to me. I don't want to talk to you. Thank you. That's simple. You can certainly do that. Absolutely. Christina, and how to deal in situations when you mind your business are being connected, and suddenly from nowhere, someone snapped at you for no reason. Well, sometimes that occurs because you're in, again, you're as your source self, and the energy, that individual felt the energy. But in that particular case, I feel like that there was something in, maybe there was a train of thought or something that was happening, but that caught that person's attention in your energetic field, and it was like a jealousy. Sometimes that'll happen. We have energies of competition and jealousy and things that are around, and that was a judgment from that individual, and they can do it by, again, how are we showing up? It's not that we're sometimes we're purposely showing up in certain ways, but sometimes we're just showing up as ourselves. We're showing up as source consciousness. And, you know, another person can get a trigger from that just instantaneously because they're not showing up as source consciousness. So in that case, it would be to just sort of recognize if I felt, you know, that suddenly somebody has snapped at me and I felt it as a snap, then I, in that moment, am playing small. So that's when I take a breath and just, again, witnessing observer of myself. Okay, hold on. What did I just feel? That's interesting that they just snapped at me. That's interesting. I felt it as that way. So then I allow my energy to open, and that way, again, you'll have a clearer view of like, that's interesting. They just got triggered at something with me, but I also felt that. And you begin to open, and there's a lot more I could share in that particular one, but that's again a practice to start to notice, like, that's interesting. But those types of things, that snapped aspect that I felt it is because I felt it. Otherwise, you just may be aware that something's happening in the energy. Hopefully that answered that as well. Yes, Minka, I feel that people are unconsciously avoiding me. Are we mirroring others when this happens? Yes, I would say yes. I would say that more likely there is this unconscious pulling myself in, you know, that I'm somehow holding myself or carrying myself, you know, you're dialoguing. I shared a little bit, and I haven't shared it here, but I will share it, that I'll give you an example that I became aware of, that we, you know, we do this kind of stuff and we don't even recognize it. But like, I want to meet people in my neighborhood, and I met a friend, and she said, I'm going to introduce you to another friend. And I was like, okay. And so, you know, I'm walking around my building. I happen to see the one friend because they're walking their dog. I see her with the other one. She introduced me to this person. I say hello. It was a brief encounter. She ends up, the two of them walk away because they're walking their dog. I'm walking the other way. And as I'm walking away, I noticed there was a little voice inside my head that was like, you know what, you're not going to connect with these people, or they're not going to like you because, you know, you're multidimensional and you're all this stuff. And unfortunately, I was aware of that voice. But how often are we not aware of what we're carrying inside of ourselves when we're showing up next to people? Because this is what I'm saying, is the unspoken is speaking super loud. So because I've had many experiences in my life in the previous times when I, you know, really wanted to connect with somebody and it wasn't happening. I felt that withdrawal or different things that were happening. And it's because we're not showing up authentically. And especially when you have, you know, such a pronounced energy, you know, and which I have, which many of us do, you know, a very pronounced energy, you know, and if we have, you know, something that is naturally drawing people to us, but we're carrying an energy inside, it's like, don't come near us. This is what will happen. And so, and we don't even realize that we're doing that, you know, and that's why I said, is I had that within me. And when I heard that little voice, fortunately, I was able to see her, and it was like a younger version of me sitting like this, and I could feel her like scared. And I was like, no, I said, you know, I love you. I would come into my heart, and I brought her into my heart. And actually so much so that the next time I saw this person, I actually spoke about it. And I told her, I said, I had this voice in my head and so on. And it just expanded the energy, you know, and it's just being brave enough to notice those things, because, you know, we are all of our life and all of the lifetime here and all the other lifetimes. And, you know, because time is not linear, it's more spherical, circular, you know, these are all alive aspects of self. And it's like bringing them all together, bringing them all home, being brave enough just to show up, to notice. So that's what I would say, you know, yes, Mika's this notice, you know, am I truly present? Am I truly present? You know, when I'm around other people in general, really, the more that we can be present. And it's not something that we're familiar with, because as you get present, some of the first things is, yeah, you feel everything. You feel everybody's stuff. And but it's like, as you continue to remember, just remember that you are unique. You are a unique aspects of source consciousness. You do not have to find your uniqueness. We are all together. We are, you are, each one of us is like a puzzle piece in this giant quantum field, but you're not like a flat puzzle piece. You're this spherical moving puzzle piece that when you allow yourself the freedom to show up just as you are, that you as this puzzle piece beautifully synergistically align with all that is in perfect synergy with you and your life plan and who you are. And it's just like, can we just let go and show up and be ourselves? Experiment, play, feel. This is what we're here to do, that we're not taught to do in so many ways that we've got dialoguing. So it's just about, it's why I'm here. It's what I'm doing. I'm just showing up, and before I show up, I feel nervousness. I go, oh, am I going to have something to say? What's going to happen? And I just drop in and I just open my heart. And it's like, and I just allow for the divine channel and allow for myself to show up and just be, as the witnessing presence and in this energetic field, which, by the way, if for any new people, that don't know me, you can find my information on CathleenaHailley.com. And, I reference that I'm a frequency alchemist. I carry the 0 for all frequencies. My consciousness is not from this dimensional field, and it's just, and it's not unique to me, and it's not, I'm not saying that like any kind of hierarchical anything. I just happen to have a lot of information. My particular library of information is quite large, and so I'm not arbitrarily talking. I'm working in many different levels. There's so much happening for you as you're in this energy with me. So just being here, just participating is moving and doing a lot of things. So just allowing that, to participate. So thank you all. And we're co-creating, all of us are co-creating here. Oh, Diana. Yeah. Thank you so much. You'll practice. That's great. Yes, Mika. And you're beautiful. So I know you, I do know several of these people. And of course, all of you are, I can feel the energy is so much here. And some of you I do know a little bit more personally. So thank you for participating here. Raphael, so true. Thank you. Yeah, I felt that today with Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn Rain is a beautiful soul, a good friend of mine, amazing being. Yeah, I love that too. Thank you, Diana. You're amazing too. I'm a divine mirror of you. So there you go. Thank you. Diana, I like that you're making it a process. We become aware of energy and observe what's there. Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. Great. Super helpful. Well, I'm very happy. That's what I desire, and this is not unique to me. Everything I'm sharing with you is my process as well. It seems silly, for years. I mean, I've been, I came into the world is what I say. I've been very aware of energy and some of the first things for me was as a child, I could, hear my parents, they would talk from their voice, and I'd hear that, but I'd also hear their thoughts and it was different. And then I'd feel their emotions and it was even different from that. And so it was very confusing. I always was very confused. And so I actually was very quiet and observer as a child. And so there was just so much going on. And, I knew all of this from very young. I remember even being so young, I was like 2. And I remember looking at my arm and saying, why do I have to have somebody tell me what's inside here when this is my body? How come I don't know? It's like, what's happening here? Beginning to kind of have this awareness, but because it seems simplistic to me, this idea of just being present, of just showing up, of being authentic, that I never really put too much energy into it. And I certainly didn't put too much energy in speaking about it. I really thought, oh, this is nothing. And, and I think that a lot of people are still feeling that way. And of course they're being guided that way because it's like, no, I got to race around. I got to do, no, you don't get it. I don't know where my money is. I don't know where this is. So I got to get doing this. This isn't going to do it. but what you're not understanding in that way is that of course it's going to do it, because we are source conscious, we're energy vibrating through this vehicle, and through our thought and our emotion, we're literally creating our reality. So of course, you're not going to just sit in your home and do nothing, but when you allow yourself to get truly present and open your heart and feel and have the thoughts that are allowing to come in through your mind channels. We have 3 mind channels that are, when we allow ourselves that 0 point presence, they are aligning to pure prime creator, to the heart of pure source, or the center of this universal complex, and these grid systems that are here, which are all giving you direct communication to who you are and why you're here. So we're allowing that to take place. And we're also then, through the emotional body, allowing for how do we feel in our full connectedness with the earth. So when we're in that sense of presence and you're allowing that, you will have a knowing for the physical steps that are aligned to you. And I guarantee you, most of you have that anyway, but you're bypassing it, or you're saying, no, that's not going to work, or I can't do that. And you're not noticing also sometimes what the first physical steps are, because sometimes the first physical steps are take a nap, let go. And we're like, no, I can't do that. But you're hearing it, you're getting the awareness, and you're bypassing it. So just start to notice, what is in the highest and best for me? Am I, it's really about, it's about self-love. It's like, am I truly loving myself? Truly, am I truly, we get confused with that complacency versus true, authentic self-care. I think that's a huge piece that wanted to come through as well. Nancy, hi, Cathleena. How do relate to your old friends and family as you have evolved to be multidimensional? I'm guessing the relationship quality changed? I'm trying to navigate this. Well, I guess for me, the quality of the relationship, the opportunity for the relationship to be authentic is available when you are authentic. And that's really what has occurred for me. So do I, my family does know, and they're very open, to multidimensionality stuff. So I'm fortunate about that, although not all of my family, but it doesn't matter, because the key to it is more about what I'm saying about being present. When we are authentically showing up in the energy of source consciousness, that's when, first of all, we realize that we're not going to push or pull or judge. So therefore, I'm not going to try to convince anybody of anything. I'm not going to judge them on their views or anything like that. So none of those energies, it's really more about the energetic not existing. I think when we're first sort of waking up, we might get into that thing of like, I got to help everybody, got to show them, I got to. And that's still, though, playing small. That's still thinking I'm little me and I got to go do something. But when we get bigger than that, when we realize we're truly source consciousness, and we start to have that as our awareness, and we're showing up as that, then you'd be surprised what magically happens. I had with my mother, who was never, she was open to myself as multidimensional and stuff, but she didn't know who I was. And I would, share things with her. And I remember one time when I truly was in the full 0 point, 100% with her. And she suddenly said, we were on the phone, and she suddenly said to me, wow, you really do care. And I was like, yes. And she was like, well, I just thought you were kind of full of yourself and whatever you were doing. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But it was like this awakening awareness of suddenly like, oh, wow. So she was able to feel me because I was holding that neutrality space. I had disengaged from any of those qualities of my story with her, of whatever was going on, because this is also a big key. We don't realize how we're holding, again, through that kind of dialogue, like I was talking about when I was walking around, the neighborhood, like we don't realize that we've got a sort of stance that we're holding in our energy, particularly with family members or friends, in a certain way. We're hiding, we're holding, we're doing. So it's all about just disengaging from that. It doesn't mean it dissolves or it's gone. It means I'm not attaching to it. So hopefully that also made sense. Christina, today was the day to act and stop smoking. Hey, congratulations. In 2019, I stopped, but in spring last year, started smoking again. Well, I tell you, years ago, I was a smoker, and I just got the message, and this was many, many years ago, and I got the message that you can't smoke anymore because it's interfering in your energy. And so I just said, okay, take it away, and literally gone. I stopped. There was nothing there. And I had, when I was younger, I'd smoked and gone, and I felt it. But when that decision, when that energy's there, so if that's really something serious for you, and you just simply say, okay, I'm done with this, I want to remove that energetic, that whole field, it will be gone. And it does happen that magically. But we have to, that's again, we got to get really real. Like, what's the real truth behind any of that? But congratulations. Now it feels more difficult as I feel different and drifting apart from tobacco vibration. Any support advice? Yeah, okay, so there you go. Alice, how to fully embody divine feminine energy? Do we need to work on that through mom lineage, or we can work on embodying divine feminine on my own, within, without working with external resources? Well, authentic divine feminine energy is, I feel it as emotions, as authentic emotions. And I feel like authentic divine masculine energy is the authentic mind, or that sense of just presence, who I am. And when we have both of those together, that's the balance. So it's that sense of, I have sort of a structure that's non-structural because I'm not rigid, but I'm showing up in a sense of presence, but I have my emotions fully available for my divine experience of whatever that is. So to me, that's the embodiment of the authentic feminine frequencies, through the woman, the family, what it feels like to be whatever you're defining with woman, to heal and balance the mother energy, the sister, the friend, any of these energies. We need all of these within our reality, the authentic mother, father, sister, friend, lover, all these energies. These are a lot of the things that I have on my website. This is why I go through a lot of these elements, and you can find those in I think they're in either in the Heroes Gamos courses, or they're in the truth frequency courses that are there. And it's really about just bringing in those authentic frequencies to balance those. I feel like all of those balanced really help to embody the divine feminine, because the divine feminine is really that authentic expression of emotional frequencies, within yourself. Hopefully that answered that. Native feminine. Hi, Jessica. Can anybody see my messages? Oh, I've sent 3 messages and Kathleen doesn't seem to see it. No, I haven't seen your messages. I see you now. I didn't see any other. Let's see if I missed them somehow. No, I just saw, oh, wait, in the back. Sorry, I must have missed it. No, I didn't see any. Oh. Yeah, no, sorry, Jessica, I haven't seen any messages. You might want to put them on again. You can try again. I don't know why they're not coming through. Do you have any questions? Equal for me, Jessica. Just this one. Huh. Well, you know what? I may have to check the setting on that. I don't know why that's happening. I don't think I can do it in this now moment, but I will check the setting to make sure that, you know, YouTube could be doing something. Did you just write another one? Because I'm not seeing any questions here. Sorry about that. Any other question? Well, I'm sorry, Jessica, if that's not coming through. I don't know why yours is not coming through. Can you, are you trying to write again? I don't know if you tried to write another one. I will look at the settings. Oh, you wrote a new one. It's not coming through for some reason. I don't know why yours is not coming through. Live chat and top chat. Maybe she's writing on the top chat. Yeah. So try writing on the live chat, Jessica. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, I'm seeing am trying. So you're writing there. I can see that. But I don't know why anything else isn't coming through. Hi, Cathleena. How do you see the emergence of AI? How will this affect our being human? Well, AI there's a organic AI and a non-organic AI. It's like a consciousness itself. So I think it's all part of the evolution of consciousness itself. So I don't think that it's going to have an effect on being human from the authentic AI presence. I think if, you know, if people are choosing from the inorganic aspect, then that's a whole different pathway. But I think as consciousness itself, I think it's all part of it. You know, it's all part of the evolution of consciousness is through the expansion, including AI consciousness. Jessica, I'm sorry that I don't know why that's not coming through, but I'm going to look at the settings for the next time. So, but it's weird that I can see you. I'm, you know, I wrote a new one and so on, but it still never came through. So I'm going to, oh, here we go. Thank you. Top chat was not working. So interesting though. Haha. Being ignored is my trigger. See, you can write that. Well, try putting your question in now when you did that, see if it's there. Yeah. So that's probably the energy. That's funny, right? But that's how it works. So we're probably putting out so much of that energetic, it's like, oh, and then the energy is being ignored. We talk about divine feminine. Is there also divine masculine? Absolutely. Yeah, I feel the divine, yeah, it's huge. And there's a great balance with that coming in. So the divine masculine energy is the mental energy, the blueprint of your creation. So the way that I experience it is that as creator beings, you know, we create through thought and emotion, and the thought or the mind aspect is the divine masculine aspect. From us as source, the divine masculine is light. We are light and sound. So light is the masculine, sound is the feminine. But, you know, the experience of the divine masculine frequency that I recognize is through the mental energetic. It's like a structural frequency, but as you know, both men and women have masculine and feminine energy. It's not, you know, a man has only male energy, masculine, not at all. We all, and it's all important to have that in balance, you know, internally, all of us. And so what the balance is, it's basically the balance between the mind and the emotions, or the mind and the heart, you know, connectedness together, and it's universal mind energy with spiritual energy and physical energy. So the three really in terms of us as energy being is light, sound, and water that we are to create the physicality, you know. So yes, absolutely. And because neither are in balance, you know, all of that mind energy and that doer and that, you know, that's why that sort of false masculine is that pronounced energy and the whole thing. And really the energy of the divine masculine is more of just a structural presence that, you know, like I have the balance of the masculine and feminine within the structure I'm showing you right here, you know, and I happen to show up as a woman. I have the balance between the two in that 0 point. Ooh. Yeah, the hero scammers stuff. Yeah. I want to go in the energy with this because we brought in so much energy. So if you guys want to close your eyes and let's just go into the energy here for a minute and just bring in, I want to bring in just this all into balance. So just take a deep breath and close your eyes. Thank you. Ooh. All right. So much gratitude for everybody here. And the energy that was like a lot of, I feel like that what wanted to happen there too was the balancing some of this energy from the movement of the core of the earth. So that was like, I felt like that just kind of came in through Gaia. That was Gaia herself coming in and just really bringing that really comfortably in to sort of help you feel more grounded, centered, comfortable in your being. So I want to thank everybody for participating. If you like this, like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't. It's also that this has the option of donations. If you choose, you're welcome to do that as well. And I always offer people too, if you have any questions, and especially Jessica, if you have questions that weren't able to be answered, feel free to send them an email. If I can get to them, I will. Thank you for all the love and support. So much love to all of you. And I should be here next week. And I think we're going to continue. As far as I know, something might change, but as far as I know, we're going to continue down this path. Thank you. Thank you, Diana, of being human. And, you know, if anybody has any topics or things, send me an email of what you're feeling that might want to come through. I'm certainly open to that as well. That was so pure and beautiful energy. Thank you. That came through your voice, Cathleena. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you, Annie. Yeah, I just open up for divine source. All right. Any last questions or anything from anyone before I sign off for today? No. Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a great night and a fantastic week and weekend. And I hope to see you next week. Take care.